President, please be seated. The court is now in session for this afternoon, and I would like now to hand the floor to the defense counsel for Nuon Chea to put question to the witness. Counsel Kope, you may proceed with your line of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, good afternoon. I would like to revisit again the site that you said P was executed in 1979 or 1980, and the site of which you said P executed prisoners from Krang Tachan. I'm trying to see if I can get a more exact location from you. I think you said before the lunch break that there were waterfalls close by. Would it be possible that there is also a dam close by this site, a dam called Romlek Dam?
Answer. Mr. President, Your Honors, regarding the specific location, I have no idea about the specific or the exact site of that execution.
Very well, then I'll move on, Mr. Witness. I would like to take you to your statement before the investigating judges. First, E3/5522, answer 27. You're being asked by the investigators the following question. Before the Krang Tachan office belonged to the district, what were its dimensions? And then you answer, before the Krang Tachan office belonged to the district, there were 2 long buildings for holding prisoners, and those buildings were in the forest for secrecy purposes, so they could not be seen. In E3/5524, question and answer 24, I read in your statement as follows. You told us that the district had you help watch over the Krang Tachan office, and that is why you could enter and leave the office. What was your intention in entering and leaving? You answer, just to forbid the people from entering and leaving the detention site because it was their secret location. They did not want anyone to know about it. So in both answers, you use the word secret and secrecy. Could you expand a little bit on this? What's the purpose of Krang Tachan to have it hidden from villagers, to keep the prison secret? Is how I have to understand your answer.
Answer. The term secrecy refer to the condition that it should not be known to any other people, and also to hide the activities inside that center.
Would that also be the reason why this execution site that you were speaking about was in a quiet forest away from the center, or has that no relation to each other?
Answer. I simply knew about it briefly, not very exact. So when you are talking about the relation from one place to another, I cannot tell you about that. So I just asked other people where were those prisoners taken to, and other people may have seen other people were taken to the place much better than me.
Would you be able to tell, based on your knowledge from that period and your conversations with other people, both during the decay period and after the decay period, that alleged executions did not in fact take place at the Krang Trachan compound, but rather at the execution site that we have just been discussing?
Answer. At the commune area, there was no location in which people were arrested, but you asked me that it was under the control of the commune. But when the people were taken away from the commune had no authority. So the small house for conducting the meeting was built for the purpose of hiding from other attack, but it was not for re-education or to punish any people. So the location that we organized for the meeting for that purpose, not to punish or to detain any prisoners.
Maybe you didn't understand my question well. I apologize for not phrasing it well. But what I'm trying to ask, whether you know that in fact no executions took place at Krang Trachan compound, but that people, if executed, were executed at the base of the mountain.
Answer. As far as I know, I saw like that. This is my words I told to the investigator.
The reason I'm asking you is that the person that we have been discussing also quite extensively, Sai Sen, is saying that executions did in fact take place at Krang Trachan prison. Do you know, on the basis of your knowledge, whether that is correct or not correct?
Answer. To my knowledge, because this has happened long time ago, I don't know whether people were executed, so I didn't know what happened after my departure for another place.
I would like to move on to another subject, Mr. Witness. In your statement before the OCIJ E3/72, in your answers A15 and A16 and A17, you speak briefly about Nuon Chia. And in your answer in A30 in the same document, you answer as follows after the following question. Did you ever hear alias Nuon Chia such as Brother Number 2, War, or Noon? And then you answer, I used to hear he was called Ta Nuon Chia and Noon. Do you remember giving that answer?
Answer. Yes, I remember that I responded and I gave this answer to the investigator.
In the same document, Mr. Witness, you are asked a question in A77, and I read as follows. Question. When you read the documents, what do you learn from them? What position did Nuon Chia hold? And you answer, when the war was over, the books were produced on how to build canals and water irrigation gates, and agricultural sector was dominantly discussed. At that time, the leaders were numbered such as Brother 1, Brother 2, Brother 3, and Tamok was numbered Ta 15. When he signed, he wrote his name as Ta 15. People sometimes, like from the East, did not know Ta 15. The next question is, based on your knowledge and understanding, can you recall the names of upper echelon people from numbers 1 to 5? And then you answer in 78, I only know number 1 and number 2. Question, who are they? And then you answer, number 1 is Pol Pot and number 2 is Tamok. I knew this after 1979. And last question, from 72 to 75, can you recall? And then you say it was Sao Pim, and after that was Tamok in the second number. Can you tell the chamber how you came to that knowledge?
Answer. I know this when I attend the education session, and there were announcements of those people who were the leaders during that time.
Do you remember concretely who said you, or how did you come to know that Sao Pim before 1975 was the number 2?
Answer. This has been a long time ago. I forget many things. I cannot assure you the person who was actually holding that position, but this is based on what I heard from other people.
And the same goes for Tamok being the number 2?
Answer. This based on the instruction material for the study session. It indicated this name like this.
In your statement to the OCIJ, you are answering questions whether you ever saw Nuon Chia visiting the area. Do you remember what you said about that?
Answer, no, I don't remember.
A23 in this document E372 might help you a little further. You answer to a question, I used to see the picture of Kyu Sampan but never saw Nuon Chias. Do you remember saying that?
Answer, yes, I said that. I said like that.
So the first time that you saw Nuon Chia's face was after 1979, is that correct?
Answer, yes.
You also testified that you are sure that you never saw, or that you are sure that Tamok never visited Krang Tachan. I would like to revisit that topic. How can you be so sure that Tamok never visited Krang Tachan?
Answer, because I was working during the regime regarding the place which is not very important for him to visit as a senior leader. I don't think he would visit. It was only P. Chon Ping who would visit that place. This is based on what I saw during the regime.
Mr. Witness, I would like to now turn to another topic, and I would like to read a passage from a statement of a Southwest Zone cadre. Mr. President, this is document E/127/7.1.8. It's the same document I referred to earlier with another witness, ERN 00901567 up until 69, Khmer 00893 until 77, and French 00978 until 649. Mr. Witness, this Southwest Zone cadre speaks about meetings in the forest before 1975. I would like to read a passage or two passages from his statement to you, and I would like to ask if you remember anything similar. Answer in A5, Mr. President. With this regard, Grandfather Mok issued an order that the commune, district and sector levels did not have the authority to make arrests or kill people. And the next page in A9. When did Grandfather Mok make this announcement? Answer of this cadre. Grandfather Mok made this announcement prior to 1975 during a wrap-up meeting held annually in Forest, participated by the commune, district and provincial committees and the regiments. After 1975, there was another meeting in the provincial town of Takeo in the presence of Grandfather Mok and Som, who was in the Sector 13 committee. They announced that soldiers with the ranks from second lieutenant to colonel were not to be harmed. Question in 10. You meant that soldiers from the ranks of second lieutenant to colonel were not arrested? Answer. I did not know because the implementation was varied from sector to sector. My question, do you remember anything of meetings held annually in the forest where Tamok spoke about what to do with soldiers from the ranks from second lieutenant up to colonel, that they were not to be harmed?
Answer. I have never heard or seen this, so I don't remember.
Very well. Mr. Witness, I would like now to show you another document. Mr. President, I would like to show the witness document E3/4095. That is English ERN 00747236. And it's a document of about 43 pages, but I would like to show the witness only two specific pages from this document. With your permission, I would like to, it's a notebook, I'd like to give the witness the actual notebook and separately the 2 pages that are relevant. So with your permission, I would like to hand that document to the witness. Look,
The President, could you repeat again the ERN in Khmer language? So you gave only the ERN in English.
Yes, I apologize, Mr. President. It's the Khmer ERN 0027-1089 and 0027-1118. And as a matter of fact, it's also the top page of that document, and that is ERN 00271089.
President, your request is granted.
Mr. President, we are also able to show it on the screen. Mr. Witness, I would like you to have a look at the whole document, maybe starting with the first page. You can see it's a school manual. On the top it says fifth confession, and then it says, which is most likely a post-1979 annotation, contemptible traitors Pol Pot and Ieng Sary. And now, if you would move to the page with a yellow tab, page 00271118. And the page 00271124.
President, Mr. Deputy International Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. While the witness is looking at the document, could counsel provide us with the specific ERN page in English so that we can see what part of this document is the witness is reviewing?
Yes, of course. ERN 00747287 and French 00721261. And the other page, English 00747279 and French 007212252. Mr. Witness, first general question. Do you recognize this notebook?
Answer, I have never seen this before.
I'll guide you a little bit through this document, Mr. Witness. This seems to be a notebook from Krang Ta Chan, probably in the period 1976, consisting of short confessions of 108 individuals a lot of them possibly with the rank Lonol soldiers or ranking Lonol officers. The two particular pages that I am referring to you to, and especially the sentence that is underlined on both pages, these are the two only prisoners which seem to have, the only two of the 108 prisoners which seem to have endured something that we have discussed earlier with you, the so-called hot methods, or the hot method. Specifically, Mr. President, on the bottom of English page 700747287, it says, "This person was interrogated with some hot methods to dig up his network, but he refused to confess." And the second page, it says, on the bottom English, he was beaten during the interrogation, but he did not confess. So, Mr. Witness, it seems that of 108 possible prisoners, 2 people were enduring something called the hot method. Would you be able to give a comment on that?
President, witness, please wait. Deputy International Co-Prosecutor, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an improper question. Counsel is now testifying himself about whether there are, how many references there are in this document. It's not proper for counsel to give evidence himself. He needs to ask questions that this witness can answer rather than try to give evidence himself about the contents of this document.
I agree with the prosecution that, of course, the proper method would be to ask the witness to read the whole document. However, I have very limited time, so I was guiding him through the confessions in those pages, those 108 confessions, and I have been able to determine that only in relation to 2 of 108 prisoners, reference is made to something that we discussed earlier with this witness, the hot method. So my question is whether he would be able to give any comment on that. In other words, does he know from his conversations with Ang or P whether they would write only in specific circumstances that hot methods were used? If so, if that's not the case, why would they bother writing down that the hot methods was used? So it's a very condensed question, I understand, but because of time limits, I'm trying to phrase it like this.
Sorry, Counsel, what exactly is the question? Not even I get it.
Well, the question is as follows. There's a notebook that we discussed, confessions of 108 prisoners. I'm asking if he is able to say anything about the use of the hot methods and the description of the fact that the hot method is being used during the interrogations. Mr. Witness, can you say anything about, maybe because of your conversations with An or P, if hot methods were used, was that written down in the summary of the confession?
I did not know about this, and so that I cannot respond to your question. I did not know anything about 108 confessions or something of this nature. or what happened in 1976.
I understand that, Mr. Witness, but I would like now to refer back to your own statement, E3/5524, questions 32 to 35. And the prosecution has asked you questions about that as well. And there you described that you were present once during an interrogation by P, who was the interrogator, and An, who was the recorder. And I read, you said as follows: P was the interrogator and An was the recorder. When P questioned and the prisoner did not respond, P was the person who used hot or cold methods to get the responses. P was the person who received the instructions to interrogate the prisoners. So my question is, when you were there once and either the hot or the cold method was used to make the prisoners speak, was that written down in notebooks like the ones that I just showed you?
What I stated in my previous statement, it happens that they were in the middle of the investigation, and it did not mean that I participated in the investigation process. And that's what I stated clearly and in the statement. And yesterday I also made it clear before this chamber.
But so, to summarize, you're not able to say anything about the fact whether the description of a hot method with 2 of these 108 prisoners was something which happened often or rarely, or what the practice was in respect of writing down which methods were used.
I cannot respond to that because I did not know about the methods or whatever you ask. If I saw it and if I recalled it, then I would tell you, but I did not know about this at all.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. I would like now to take you to your statement before the investigating judges. E319822, more specifically to your answer in question A125. You were briefly asked about this by my national colleague. And I would like to read the question to you that was asked to you, your answer, and the follow-up question. The question is as follows, I quote: "You have said that you served as the chief of the commune and you arranged marriages. Were the marriages voluntary or coerced?" Your answer: they were voluntary. As for the marriages at the rubber plantation, couples who had already committed moral offenses were imprisoned. Thus I asked them if they would love each other for the rest of their lives, then I arranged marriages for them. Question: to your knowledge, were marriages during the Khmer Rouge regime forced? Your answer: I saw many marriages and it appeared that they were not forced. I heard that they asked each spouse if they agreed to get married with a particular person in a particular team or a person of such and such complexion. Some couples remained together, others separated. Last question: did anyone refuse to get married? Yes, there were people who refused to stay married forever. One more question: what was the punishment for those who refused to get married? They just scolded them. Mr. Witness, do you remember giving this answer to the investigators of the investigating judge?
Yes, that's my statement. I talked about the time period that I worked at the rubber plantation, and I can recall that well. For those who committed moral misconduct, and there were two of them who worked at a hospital, and I asked them whether they loved each other for life. If that was the case, then they should invite their parents, and then we would arrange the marriage, and we would provide food for the ceremony. And that was a giving that I offered them, otherwise in other places they would be punished. And that happened in around 77 or 78 at the rubber plantation.
Taking you back to Tram Kok district, what specifically can you say about marriages in Tram Kok district? Were they also voluntary, or were they forced?
While I was at the Tram Kok district, there was no marriage ceremony yet. It was only the beginning of the regime as the war just ended, and we were building the society. And marriages only took place after we gained a full victory, and not at a busy stage of building the society.
Mr. Witness, I would like to take you now to an answer that you gave in your statement E3/5522. Answer A21. The question is as follows. For what use did the district take the Krang Tachan office? And you answer, they used to re-educate the people who were arrested and taken there. In your another statement to the investigating judges, investigators, you say roughly the same thing. Was the purpose of Krang Tachan to re-educate people?
Yes, that was for re-education purpose.
What exactly does that mean, re-education purpose?
It means for them to understand the offenses that they made individually, and that was against the leadership line.
Is it your testimony that people who were sent to Krang Tachan were sent there to be re-educated?
Yes, as far as I know, they were sent there for re-education, and after that they will be reintegrated into the base. However, later on, I was not aware of what happened there because I was transferred to be stationed far away from that center.
Last question, Mr. Witness. Krang Tachan was called Re-Education Center 105. Do you remember whether it was also ever called M105?
I cannot recall it, and I'm not aware that it was named that way. However, I only know that it was called Krang Tachan because that's where the stores the remained of Tachan. And the person was buried there. And later on, if they change it to M105 or something, it was beyond my knowledge.
But to summarize your answer, you've never actually seen any document referring to Krang Tachan using the letter and figures M105. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
One very final question that is about topography. Rather again, Mr. Witness, in your answer in document E35522, answer 12, you said that Kus commune counted 33 villages. Is that correct?
Kus commune comprised of 33 villages during the time that I was in charge, that is around 1970 or 71. However, later on it was split into a separate commune. And then my commune, the original name was Pong Tek, and then it was changed to Pong Tek Khang Cheung, Khang Thap Bong. And then there was another one called Pong Tek Khang Cheung. It's in Khmer, it literally means the South Pong Tek and the northern part of Pong Tek commune.
It's a difficult question, I realize, but would you be able to estimate roughly how many villages there were in the total of the Tram Kok district, so District 105? How many villages were there? Hundreds? Would it be possible for you to make an estimation?
I cannot provide you a correct estimation of villages because there were several. As in my village itself, I do not know the exact number of the population, because sometimes people who were fearful of living there moved to another village without a proper record. And for that reason, we do not know for sure the total number of people living in one village. And it would be more difficult to make a proper estimation for the entire district.
The number of around 80,000 people living in Tram Kok district in 1979, would that be a correct estimate, or would it be not possible for you to say anything on that?
I cannot say for certainty, but probably that will be a proper estimate.
Thank you, Mr. President.
President, thank you. And the Chamber would like now to cede the floor to the defense team for accused Sampon. Kong Samon, thank you, Mr. President. And good afternoon, Mr. Pan Chen. I have some questions for you. First, I'd like to get clarification from you in relation of your connection with Krang Tachan office after 17 April 1975 to 6 January 1979. Can you briefly respond to my question whether you have any relationship in terms of your work or your position to this office within this period? Answer: no, I did not at all. Question: also during this time period, That is 17 April 1975 to 6 January 1979. Did you ever go to visit or to meet any friend of yours at that location? Answer. I stated already this morning that is after the victory in 1975, I was assigned to bring logistics to the people who were evacuated from other locations, including from the provincial town. I met some people there and we spoke a little bit. And after that, I returned to my base in Kampong Speu province. We did not discuss in details on the nature of our work, or on the people movement, or on the kinds of people who were being evacuated, not at all. Question. When you brought the logistics to Krangtachan office, how many times did you do that? And can you specify the time period that you threw the logistics to that office? Answer. I assisted in food offering or food supply while I was in Kus commune. And by 74, when I left Kus commune, replacement took over and dealt with this food logistics. And I was transferred far away, and I did not have any relationship with that office anymore. Question. Due to the discrepancies in your statement, that is the reason I asked you about the time period between 17 April 1975 to 6 January 1979. That is not about the time of what happened in 1974. You stated that you left Kus commune in around 1974. Does it mean that during the period of the Democratic Cambodia regime, you did not have any role to play or any relationship at all with the Krangtachan office, either officially or unofficially? Answer. Once I was transferred to go away to others to be stationed far away, I never returned to that center. And only when I came to visit my village, when I rode my bicycle, then I would just drop by at the gate of the center. I did not have any relationship in terms of my role or work nature with that center at all. Question. Let me clarify with you. When you went to a Krangtachan office, was it during 1974 or 1975, that is after the liberation? I refer to the 17 April 1975 liberation. Answer. I just stated when I brought the logistics there, I met people there, then we talked a little bit. And I went to where the refugees from Takai were gathered. And we brought food supply to those people, including the meat. And I did not spend time in that office. Council interrupts. What I want to know is the G, or the time period that you brought logistics. Was it before or after 17 April 1975? Do you understand my question? Answer, yes, I do. After I left the commune, I did not return. So that was from 1974, 75 up to 1979. I was engaged with the work that I did at my station, and I did not have time to return to that office. Question. Can you inform the court that at any time that you went to visit your village, did you have any contact with people working at the Krang Tachan office, that is for the period between 1975 to 1979? Answer, no, I did not. I sometimes met those people at a meeting place, but I did not go to that office. Question. This morning you stated about a member of the party center, that is Tamok, who was also a zone secretary. Through your experience in relation to member of the party center, you already explained what the center meant, that it was the core part and it was related to other sections around it. But my question to you is for you to give us your understanding of a member of the party center. Can you do that? Answer. I provided already my personal explanation of what the center means. And as for the structure of the center, in fact, I learned about it from the court documents. There's a document from this ECCC document. And I have that document at home. It was a thick kind of a document. And in that document, there were photos of Tamok, of Sapam, and of other people. Question. As for your personal experience, what is your understanding of being a member of the party center, namely Tamok, as you stated? Answer. My observation was based on the presentation made by those trainers, by those speakers. They spoke about certain individuals with certain responsibilities, and I obtained such information through the study sessions that I attended. And personally, I would not be in a position to define who a member of the party center was. I only learned through the study sessions. Question. During that time period, do you know whether anybody else was members of the party center besides Tam Mok? Answer, no, I did not. Counsel, please repeat your question since part of your answer is interrupted. Witness, I cannot understand the details about the structure. Counsel, since there was no translation, could you please repeat your response to my question as to who else you might know members of the party center besides Tam Mok? Answer, as far as I know, and I already stated in my previous statements, and I provided the names of those people at the zone level because there were several zones throughout the country, and zone secretaries fell within that hierarchy. Question. What do you know about the duties and responsibilities of the Center Committee? Answer, no, I would not have that kind of knowledge. Either the Center Committee or the Standing Committee, I would not know. Question. This morning you spoke about the district meetings that you attended. My question to you is the following. Did you attend the meetings held at the district level frequently? Answer, within the framework of the commune, yes, I did. Because all the communes had to attend such a meeting at the district level everywhere. We were given a schedule for certain meetings, and we had to be present during those meetings. And if we could not attend, then we had to inform them in advance. But as a common practice, we had to be present at the district meetings. Question. And you said during those district meetings, there were two kinds, open meetings and closed meetings. Can you tell us the distinction of the two kinds of meetings? Why there were closed meetings and why there were open meetings, for instance? And were you present in only one specific kind of meetings or in both kinds of meetings? Answer. The two monthly meetings were open meetings. As for the extraordinary meetings without a set schedule were closed meetings, and we did not know about the content of those meetings. We only knew that the meetings or closed door or closed meetings were held at the district levels, but we did not know what were discussed during those closed meetings. Question. Did you yourself ever attend the so-called closed meetings? Answer. I could only attend the open meetings. and we talk and discuss about the labor, about working in the rice fields, etc. Question in your statement E3/72 in question answer 77 rather, you talked about attending a study session of a textbook about dam and canal construction. My question to you is the following. Did you attend any study session in terms of a political study session in Phnom Penh or elsewhere? Answer. During the longer period that I performed my duty with them, and if you refer to major meetings at the Takai provincial town or in Phnom Penh or at the secret place along the Dong Raja mountain range, I did not attend those kinds of meetings. I only attended the meetings held at the districts to receive the plan. And we had to implement those plans from the district at the commune level. And we only knew what we were given by the district level, and whether those instructions from the district were from the upper level or from the district itself, we did not know. Question. This could be my last question regarding your role at the commune. I'm still unclear whether you were the so-called commune committee, commune secretary, or just a member of the commune. And did you work at that commune for one phase only, or there were 2 or 3 separate phases where you engage in the commune work? Answer. I was responsible for 2 communes. While I was at Good Commune, I was in charge of social affairs and culture. And the other person was Soon. And when I moved to another commune, I was the deputy of Lon. Lon was the commune secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and I'd like to hand the floor now to my International Council President. Thank you. Yes, you may proceed, Councillor Goucher.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Mr. Tan Chen. My name is Anta Giche. I am International Co-Counsel for Mr. Kyo Sampan. I would like to put a few questions to you for purposes of clarification of your testimony. My first question is a follow-up to an answer you gave to Mr. Samon. You said you learned a number of things regarding the structure of the CPK through documents that you read. Can you tell us when you saw those documents and at what time you saw them?
Answer. I have just told the court earlier. It was written in a book with black cover. On the cover, there was a photo of a train with the senior leaders in that train. That's all I can remember.
Et quand est-ce que vous avez eu...
And when did you have access to that book? That is the thrust of my question.
Answer. It was when I attended the meeting with other organizations who discussed about the past history of Pol Pot, and I received the books. It's a booklet featured by photos, and I kept them for reading and to read further. I attend several meetings by the organizations, including Licado and other NGOs, other organizations. I often attended those meeting discussion. Some organizations would show video of the security center, including Krang Techan, and I saw the photo and also the footage. It's a kind of reenactment of what was happening during the Khmer Rouge. These are the materials and even that I get a knowledge of that.
Et juste, c'était en quelle année?
And in what year was that?
Answer: it happened more often in 2013 and 2014. And in 2015, there was no organization hold any meeting in my area.
Je vais passer maintenant à...
I'll now move into another line of questioning. But before we do so, please clarify something you said in answer to a question put to you by my learned colleague of the Nonchia team regarding the charm. That answer you gave wasn't translated into French, so I'll put the question to you again. Between 1975 and 1979, do you know whether there were Cham living in Takeo?
Answer: I don't know about that. I don't know about that, especially since the old regime and also during the decay regime.
Est-ce que vous en avez vu personnellement?
Did you see any of them personally?
Answer: no, I never saw any charm.
Dans votre déclaration,
In your statement, E319.1.20, at answer number 2, you stated that there were no charm in Takeo and that you were in the northern zone where there were charm, but that they were not victims of any violence. Do you confirm this statement?
Answer: I can confirm this for you. More Cham people were living in the north zone and the east zone. When I was working in the rubber plantation, there were many Chams in many villages all over there, including Tem Namet village, Trapang Rasai village, Kabal O village, Chongko village, etc. Houses were built for them. I didn't see any charm in Takeo province.
sur un autre point, vous avez...
On another matter, you referred to problems of moral misconduct on several occasions that occurred during democratic Kampuchea, and you even stated that those problems were at the root of the problems you had with the commune chief. My first question is as follows: do you remember whether, as part of training sessions you attended, whether you are talking of your own revolutionary training or training given to members of the commune. Do you remember the 12 revolutionary commandments or the 12 revolutionary principles?
Answer. I cannot remember all, but I just realized that committing this offense is wrong based on the commandment. For example, immoral conduct with a woman. This is one of the offenses. That's all I know.
Quand vous dites
When you talk of anti-moral conduct, can you be more specific?
Answer. Are you expecting the simple word for moral or immoral offense?
លោកស្រីមេធាវីសួរម្ដងទៀតគាត់អត់ច្បាស់លាស់ចម្លើយណាមួយដែលឲ្យឆ្លើយម្ដងទៀតហ្នឹងសួរម្ដងទៀត សូមលោកស្រីមេធាវីឆ្លើយសួរម្ដងទៀតសួរគាត់បាទអរគុណឥឡូវនេះដល់ពេលសម្រាប់ហើយអរគេសម្រាប់ចាប់ពីពេលនេះទៅរហូតដល់ម៉ោង 3 សូមអញ្ជើញចូលវិញមិនតែបន្តកិច្ចដំណើរការសកម្មភាពហើយមន្ត្រីរដ្ឋបាលតុលាការសម្របសម្រួលផ្ដល់កន្លែងសម្រាប់នៅបន្ទប់រងចាំសម្រាប់សាកសីរូបនេះនឹងឡងពេលឈប់សម្រាប់នឹងឲ្យអញ្ជើញគាត់ត្រឡប់មកកាន់កន្លែងផ្ដល់សកម្មនេះវិញនៅវេលាម៉ោង 3 ហើយរៀបចំប្រព័ន្ធបកប្រែភាសាបានល្អផងសម្រាប់ចុះ